everybody? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aiden, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a Chicago Bulls and Toronto Raptors game reaction. The Chicago Bulls don't make things very easy for themselves, do they? With another comeback from the Toronto Raptors, they ended up actually taking the lead in this game, but the Chicago Bulls fought them off in the fourth quarter and got a very narrow victory, but a victory that is important indeed for our season. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show. Turn notifications on and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls game today. Who was your player of the game and your overall thoughts and opinions on how well we played. We won this game 111 to 105. You might see a little bit of those comparisons against the OKC Thunder, but in my opinion, outside of the fourth quarter, I thought this was a completely different game. Obviously, the Toronto Raptors are a much better team compared to the OKC Thunder, and even without Van Vliet in the lineup, they did end up putting a lot of pressure on the Chicago Bulls with their third and fourth quarter performance. It was a game of two halves, I'd like to say, but it does feel great to have Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan play together once again. Obviously, we are at our best when those two are playing well together, and when you add on top that Vucevic had another great game against the Toronto Raptors, it's very hard to beat us no matter how poorly we end up playing on the defensive end, how much pressure they put on us. When you have three unique scorers and three diverse scorers the way that we do, with Zach LaVine being able to shoot the three and get to the line and obviously taking it to the rim. DeMar DeRozan's unbelievably strong mid-range game, Vucevic's post presence, and of course, the 1-3 that he made was the difference maker for the Chicago Bulls, the dagger to the Toronto Raptors. It's very hard to stop. And then you add on top of that the energy of Javonte Green, you add on top the bench scoring of Kobe White, you add on the point guard capabilities and the two-way capabilities from Io. We are a very difficult team to stop when everybody has their role, plays their role well, and we end up winning these types of games. Toronto was going to be the hardest competition we faced this week. They are above 500 in terms of their record. They are not an easy team to beat. We saw that in the first time that we versed them in Toronto. So coming into this game and winning this game is very important towards our season. Looking at the positives, obviously I loved the paint production for the Chicago Bulls today. We dominated the Toronto Raptors in points in the paint, and that is what we should be doing. They call them the Slash Brothers for a reason. We are a team that likes to cut to the basket. We are a team that likes to abuse the paint. That comes down to Vucevic in the post, Zach LaVine driving, DeMar DeRozan driving, the transition play. All of that together is what makes this team very good in the paint, and we abused the paint today. Our three-point shooting was not working at all for the Chicago Bulls, and it hasn't been for quite some time. Outside the OKC Thunder game, where we did score well from the three-point line, we did not score great from the three-point line in almost any other game in this stretch without Zach LaVine and the losing period for the Chicago Bulls. We have not shot the ball well from the three. So abusing the paint is the way to go for now for the Chicago Bulls, and I like the fact that we did that. I obviously like the energy we brought in the first half, and especially in the first quarter as well. This game brings me back to the Miami Heat game. I made two game reactions with the Miami Heat, and obviously both of them had the Miami Heat getting easy opportunities through backdoor cuts, through easy opportunities and plays, and a lot of screens to get their guys wide open. This Chicago Bulls first quarter performance, we saw a lot of backdoor cuts, we saw a lot of screen to player movement, we saw a lot of slashing to the basket, we saw a lot of easy opportunities. Of course, we didn't replicate that throughout the whole game, but that is something that I'm going to take as a positive for the Chicago Bulls, because we need to learn how other teams get their shots so wide open. Even the Golden State Warriors do very similar things: off-ball screens, cutting players, ball movement, off-ball movement, everything of that sort gets you easy opportunities. Miami is one of the perfect teams to put an example on, because we versed them twice, and I think that's the reason why they beat us, even though they were not at their best. Same with the Golden State Warriors and everything of that nature. They're team players, ladies and gentlemen. They're a team. They play as a team. And our assist numbers were through the roof today. And a lot of that had to do with our first half performance and moving without the ball. It was a great sight to see. And again, it resulted in about 3 of our players getting close to triple doubles. So that is a very positive thing to take away as well for the Chicago Bulls. The negative, obviously, we need to really learn how to deal with the pressure of an NBA game, and more specifically, the pressure that they apply on us. In the fourth quarter, they had their lengthiest team out there pretty much outside of their center, because at the end of the day, they don't have a big center like we do. They put their lengthiest team out there. They switched everything. They full court pressed us. They half court pressed us. They did everything to put a pressure for the Chicago Bulls, and we did not handle it well at all. Obviously, with Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso, two veteran guards on the team, maybe we do handle that pressure a little bit more. But it's a learning experience for players like Ayo. It's a learning experience for players like Kobe White. It's even a learning experience for players like Zach LaVine, who in the end probably didn't have to deal with a lot of the pressure on most certain nights because he's not been on a winning team pretty much his whole career. Now teams are trying to win. We're trying to win, and they're putting pressure on us, and we did not respond well to that. Even Vucevic and DeMar did not respond well to that. We have to learn how to deal when players apply pressure to us. Very easy thing that we need to work on, and I think Billy Donovan will have to set the focus straight for the Chicago Bulls, because now teams know we can't handle pressure. If we had 19-point leads like we did in the third quarter, if you apply even a little bit of pressure on the Chicago Bulls ball handlers, we will end up not responding well to it. Teams will now learn that. It's part of our scouting report now. Just like playing in a zone, applying pressure, these are things that teams will now learn how to use against the Chicago Bulls. And the positive is, Ayo is still a rookie. He will learn how to overcome the pressure that they apply to him. And same with Kobe White as well. These types of things, the more that you see them, the more that you can overcome them. So let's see teams keep applying the pressure. Let's see what happens. Let's see how they can overcome it and when they can overcome it, because eventually they're going to have to do it. So you may as well get it over and done with now. Every team put pressure on the Chicago Bulls and see how we respond to it. Either way, a win is a good win, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how you can shape it, especially when we have been on a lot of losing stretches for the Chicago Bulls. Any win is a good win, and this is definitely a win I'll take on our season, and it's time to keep on pushing forward, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at the individual performances, starting off with Ayo Dosunmu, he had 7 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and 1 steal. His shooting was not fantastic for the Chicago Bulls today, but his defense was very strong. Again, someone to keep in mind, Gary Trent, he did get ejected in the game. That really helped the Chicago Bulls, I should say. Obviously, you don't want to see players get ejected, and if you talk back to the refs, things like that do eventually happen. Refs have personal pride just like everybody else. If you try to abuse your, words and your actions, you do get tech fouls, and that's what happened with Gary Trent. I wish it didn't happen because I want to see teams at their best, but that eventually did happen. When it comes to Ayo, when Ayo was guarding Trent could not find anything easy for his points. Again, he had an amazing night. I believe he had a 30-point night or something like that, Gary Trent did. But I thought as soon as Ayo moved into guarding Gary Trent, everything became 10 times harder for him to find those open opportunities. And Ayo's been doing that to almost everybody that he plays with. Again, I can name the list, but you guys know the list. Almost every single team that we play, Ayo's on one of their best players, if not their best player. And that's the respect that we have for Ayo, and obviously that's the trust we have in Ayo, and his results in us winning games and slowing down opponents, other teams will start to take notice of that as well. So Ayo was really good defensively today. Of course, his assist numbers, 4 assists, was pretty good as well. I can't really say too much about Ayo. If he knocked down more shots, obviously people would notice him a little bit more, but defensively he was really strong today. Zach LaVine had a 23-point performance, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, and 1 steal. Again, it's very similar to the OKC Thunder game. Zach LaVine was fantastic all night. 9 from 16 from the field, 56%. He did not make too many threes. None of our team really did. But fourth quarter comes around, we become slow. We become stagnant. We take unnecessary shots. Zach LaVine's part of that. Zach LaVine took a lot of unnecessary shots. Zach LaVine got a few unnecessary turnovers. We need to learn from the fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen. These are 2 games where the Bulls can go. Watch the tape. Watch what they're doing wrong. Watch why we're so stagnant in the fourth quarter, because I'm sure they can see it. It's very hard to miss. and try to figure out how to overcome those things. At the end of the day, we are known for a fourth quarter team. We have DeMar DeRozan, they call him the king in the fourth quarter. Obviously, Zach LaVine is not shy in the fourth quarter either. He could definitely get his points, and he got a really nice and one in the fourth quarter as well. So he knows what to do. They know what they could do to get us over the line, and we went over the line today. But there were a lot of mistakes in that fourth quarter, and Zach LaVine is responsible for some of them, and he needs to look at that. Same with DeMar DeRozan, who had a great night as well. 29 points for DeMar, 7 rebounds, 7 assists in this game. DeMar DeRozan was always, it's as good as he's always going to be, ladies and gentlemen. A 29-7 night, 7-7 night, I should say as well. It's an MVP caliber performance from DeMar DeRozan. It's an MVP caliber performance from Zach LaVine as well. 2 All-Stars, showing why they should be All-Stars for the Chicago Bulls. Shot 57% from the field, as I said. He also missed a lot of threes. He actually took quite a few of them, and that's something that's going to be a good asset to have with Zach LaVine in the lineup as well, because DeMar does take threes when Zach LaVine is in the lineup, and I think it's because of the floor spacing. He will get open ones. He did not make a lot of them today, but I like when DeMar shoots threes. It shows that he's not afraid, and teams will eventually have to respect him if he starts making those shots. Overall, DeMar, great game as per usual. Nothing more I can say. Nikola Vucevic, 17 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists, close to a triple-double, ladies and gentlemen. Just did not get there at the end of the day. He shot 72% from the field, 1 from 2 from the three-point line, and that one three was the dagger for the Chicago Bulls. He sealed the deal. He got us the win at the end of the day. With Nikola Vucevic, did you notice the difference in his game today from the Orlando Magic and from a lot of other performances in this season? He usually takes about 3 to 4, potentially goes up to 6 and 7 threes per game. He only took 2 threes this game. He took a couple of mid-ranges, but he was in the paint. And he dominated in the paint. Again, you can only switch so far when it comes to the Toronto Raptors. They don't have a really strong 7-footer to stop Nikola Vucevic from posting up and getting easy shots in the paint. Not really have anyone that can do that to Nikola Vucevic. So go in the post, show what you could do in the paint. And he got a lot of his points in the paint. He got a lot of his stats, assists as well, because they double teamed him, because they can't stop him. You can't stop him, you force double teams. Vucevic is a fantastic passing center, and he can make teams pay with his passing ability. And if they don't double team him, then who's going to stop him in the post? Who's going to stop him from getting to his spots? It's as simple as that. And that's the game that he had. And again, I still don't trust him to do this consistently. I need to see more of it before I can say Nikola Vucevic is back. Vucevic is going to be like this for the rest of the season. Before I say any of these things, I need to see it more. I saw 2 games of it, and I love both games from it. I need to see more from Vucevic. Not in terms of production. I need to see more games like this in the future. We'll wait and see. Obviously, Javonte Green as well, fantastic. 12 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist. Again, in my opinion, he was the difference between the win and the loss today. If we don't have Javonte Green, we do not win. When the Toronto Raptors were coming back and making their strides to try and take a lead for the Chicago Bulls in the third quarter and in the fourth quarter, who was the guy that ended up having really strong plays, really strong attacks to the rim, and getting easy opportunities, as well as his defense? It was Javonte Green. Anytime the Toronto Raptors went on a run, Javonte Green, with the 12 points that he had, all those 12 points were to stop Toronto Raptors runs. That's how important he was to the Chicago Bulls. If there wasn't that guy to go and get a dunk in the third quarter, if it wasn't for that guy to go and get an and one against the Toronto Raptors in the third quarter, and his fourth quarter performance as well, when nobody was moving, he was the one that was moving. He was important to the win today, and he cannot be discredited for how well he played. Moving into the bench, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start off with Coby White, who had 9 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist. Shot 4 from 10 from the field, which is 40%. It's not too bad from Coby White. Again, just assuming that he could have made 2 or 3 more of those shots, this game might have been a little bit further away from reach. His three-point shooting has been off for quite a few games, the last 3 games I should say. 1 from 4 from the three-point line, but he's not settling for threes. That's the biggest thing to take away from Coby White. He attacks the paint, he likes the pick and roll situations, and he's taking mid-ranges as well. So when shots are not falling, you have to find other ways to contribute, especially if you're a scoring guard. So when you attack the paint, you are contributing to the Chicago Bulls. When you're shooting the mid-range, you're contributing to the Chicago Bulls. We all learn, and we all say Ayo is learning from DeMar DeRozan. Let's not forget, Kobe White is learning from Ayo as well. Patrick Williams is probably not even he's not in the lineup. He's still learning from DeMar DeRozan as well. We see a lot of our players now taking a lot of mid-range shots because that's the key for our team. That's how we're going to succeed. We can shoot the three, especially when Lonzo and Caruso comes back. We'll be a much better three-point shooting team, but we could get the mid-range any single time that we want, and players do not expect Ayo to shoot the mid-range. Players don't expect Kobe White to shoot the mid-range, and that's where they're going to get a lot of their success if they continue to play the way that they do. Troy Brown Jr., 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. I love this hustle game, ladies and gentlemen. Only missed 1 shot as well. He is someone that when he is playing like this, when he makes his shots, he's so valuable to this team because he brings a lot of effort and he brings a lot of hustle plays. We need to see him continue to make shots. If it's easy shots, great. If it's corner shots, great. Whatever it is, we have to see him make his shots because that's when he is one of our most valuable bench assets, because his defense is so vital, so crucial to the team. But if he doesn't make shots, it's almost like he doesn't contribute. So I can't wait to see if we can see this being, I guess, a consistent performance. We'll have to wait and see with Troy Brown, but I did really enjoy his game today. Tyler Cook had 3 points and 2 rebounds. This was just not his game. It was not the game to play Tyler Cook. At the end of the day, with so many guys that they switched, they didn't have another 7-footer on the team. So I would have played, personally, Tony Bradley in this game. I would have played a 7-footer because they couldn't stop the 7-footers today. And I think if you play Tony Bradley, you get someone that A, can rebound the ball, which is something Toronto is very good at. They love to rebound. You bring a 7-footer in, we have the size advantage all of a sudden. Maybe we get a little bit more rebounds. Also, again, if we could see Tony Bradley's post-game develop, maybe we could use him a little bit more. But again, there's not too much to say. We played Tyler Cook. He did okay at times, but he wasn't personally my choice to go with in this game. Matt Thomas had 3 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound. I don't have too much to say on Matt Thomas. He made a good corner 3, and that's really about it that I remember from the game. He tries defensively, but we know he's a defensive liability. I don't really have too much to say in relation to the must improve for this game. I feel like everybody played their part, and this was just a really tough game to win at the end of the day. I guess I could say Tyler Cook. I probably will say Tyler Cook personally. It's just not the game that I would have played him. I would have played Tony Bradley, and that's the only real reason. I don't think he had much contribution in this game today compared to other games like the Bucks and all of that. I do feel like he was a little bit of the odd one out in today's game. My player of the game is personally going to be DeMar DeRozan. I think Vucevic is probably the next one up in terms of this award because he was truly amazing in today's game as well. But DeMar DeRozan, from the very beginning, was go. He ended up having a great game against his former side in the Toronto Raptors. He got things physical. He got into the post. He got into the paint. Were there a few mistakes along the line? Yes. Was he a big part of why the Bulls were staying in the fourth quarter? Yes. But we have to look beyond the fourth quarter here. We played 4 quarters of basketball. Looking at 1 quarter to say why a player shouldn't be player of the game, it's not enough for me. It's not enough to not give it to him. He had a fantastic night for 3 of those 4 quarters, and he did play a big part in the fourth quarter as well. And for that reason, he is my player of the game. Shout out to Vucevic for another strong game. And if DeMar DeRozan had a slightly lesser of a worse game, Vucevic would definitely be my player of the game. I thought he was outstanding. Javonte deserves it. Zach LaVine, obviously. I think a lot of players played their part today, and that's why we got the strong win. Our record is 30-17, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at the standings for the Chicago Bulls, again, I still think we sit second in the Eastern Conference right now. The Miami Heat sit first. So again, we're still up there with some of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. You love to see that for the Chicago Bulls. And we just got to keep on fighting. We got to keep on fighting, keep on pursuing, keep on trying to get to that top spot. We want to be in that top spot. We felt what it's like to be the first seed in the Eastern Conference, and I think all of us want to get back there. And now that we have Zach and DeMar playing together again, I think we have a better shot at it, and hopefully more players will come back down the line to keep us fighting for it. Our next game, ladies and gentlemen, is against the San Antonio Spurs. DeMar DeRozan had a great game here against his former side. He's going against his former side in the Toronto Raptors, in the San Antonio Spurs, I should say, once again. This is obviously going to be in San Antonio. I expect a good video package for DeMar DeRozan. He spent 3 years there. He was great for the San Antonio Spurs. He was their best player. So Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I think the Spurs are a classy organization. I think they will pay their respects to DeMar DeRozan. And I hope DeMar DeRozan has a great game against them. Spurs are an up and down team, just like the OKC Thunder, just even like sometimes the Toronto Raptors. And again, the Orlando Magic, they're up and down. They have their great moments, but they also have their down periods. They are a good, young, try to get out transition team, and they play good defense. We will see trouble in this game, just like we saw trouble against the Thunder, just like we saw trouble against the Toronto Raptors. We may have won both of those games, but they are really young, athletic, and defensive-minded teams. They will go after us. It's time for us to respond. Let's see what we could do in San Antonio. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in another Chicago Bulls video. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay tuned for more. Take care.